this has been going on. I saw an article a few weeks ago, actually, on this. But they they did an article that has really stirred up and brought attention, and it's labeled "How a Right-Wing Movie Studio Enabled the Harvey Weinstein of Indie Film." I'll discuss what I think of that in a second. So this is an expose on Cinestate and Adam Donaghy. I don't know why that's hard for me to say. So
Donaghy?
No, it's Donaghy. I think that's how they pronounce it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard it here, but I didn't know if it'd just be silent G.
Yeah, I think they pronounce the G in this. It doesn't matter. Anyways, so after a Facebook post earlier this year from an actress who alleged that Adam Donaghy, we're going to call him Adam. It's a lot easier. Raped her when she was 16 years old. The Dallas film producer was arrested on April 27th, and this brought a wave of other allegations. So Adam is he is a producer out in Dallas, and he's the co-founder of the Oak Cliff Film Festival, and he also helped relaunch the Texas Theater, which is a big spot out there for the film industry. So Cinestate was founded by Sonair and Presmic in 2016, and their whole goal was to be separate from Hollywood. It was a chance for people who didn't vote liberal to not be persecuted for their beliefs, and so they could get their films out and such. So that's kind of where the right wing is coming from. They also have the Rebler, which is an online movie website. You have to pay for it. They have articles and such, talk about movies and everything. So anyways, they had in 2017, Adam had joined Cinestate, and he was given production duties. So he did several movies, some of them being The Standoff at Sparrow Creek, which is good, VFW, and Satanic Panic. Now, at this point, though, in 2017, Adam had already had a reputation of sexual harassment on movie sets. Claims are strong. Back in 2013, he was from the Texas Theater. He was banned from that theater for a lot of sexual harassment there. And that only lasted for 6 months. And then they found out that he was writing at home for them and doing things. But in 2017, filmmaker Blair Rowan pressured the owner, Epstein, to do something about Donaghy. God, I can't say that name for some reason. And so legally and financial steps were taken to have him removed from the business altogether. Now, throughout all of this time with the movies and on sets, there's been a lot of accusations, not only about Adam, but about the lack of funding, a lack of safety on Cinestate sets. A number of sexual harassment cases, accusations, I should say, were brought to the attention of Sonair and Presmic, and they ignored them. They didn't bother looking into them or anything. So one thing that I was real curious about was director Chelsea Stardust, who directed Satanic Panic. Apparently, she says that she was completely unaware of Adam's behavior and his history to a few weeks ago, and that no one involved with the production expressed any concerns to her about Adam's involvement. I don't know. For something that's so well known, I was kind of surprised by that. I know that Cinestate has since cut ties with Adam since his arrest. And they also announced a series of measures to ensure on-set safety. I won't get into all of that. You guys can look up the articles for that. It doesn't feel very sincere when you hear their history. And like I said, ignoring it. And even the Sonair said that he just didn't take the allegations seriously when they were brought up to him. So he didn't bother looking into it. And the co-owner, Presmic, she isn't much better, to be quite honest. So the having this come out has brought a lot of ripples. So there's the staff and editors from other Cinestate entities. You have Fangoria Horror Magazine, and film magazine Birth, Movies, and Death. This has caused problems for them. So those two entities were acquired from the Alamo Draft House, which is also then, it's all related by Cinestate. So in other words, Cinestate signs the checks for Fangoria and all of them. Initially, earlier this week, Fangoria did a joint statement with Birth, Movies, and Death, demanding actions be taken by Cinestate, Sonair, and Pesmic to ensure the safety of the workforce. However, on Wednesday, Fangoria and BMD, announced, in a follow-up statement, their departure from the Cinestate band, and that new buyers are being sought for both of them. Unfortunately, it doesn't end there, and this really sucks. I know I subscribe to Fangoria, and you've had a lot of fans take to Twitter across the board on this because they're canceling their subscriptions and everything. Fangoria said they'll get out their July issue, but what's going to happen remains, unsure at the moment. So then, unfortunately, once again, it doesn't stop there because you have Joe Bob Briggs, who announced that he no longer will be writing regular columns for Cinestate publications or their websites, which include Fangoria and Webler. This is kind of disappointing, but Joe Bob wrote on his Twitter page that based on the revelations of Cinestate and their failure to come clean about everything and make it right, I guess I have to resign from both Fangoria and Webler. Said on several levels, including the end of Fango's miracle comeback and the decline of the Texas-based film company. Barbara Crampton was also a contributing writer for Fangoria, and she has also stepped away. And then we have a number of podcasts that are under the Fangoria brand that band together and have also left the network. These include Post Mortem with Mick Garris, Nightmare on Film Street, The Movie Crypt with Adam Green and Joe Lynch, Casualty Friday, Nightmare University, and Blumhouse's Shockwaves podcast with Dr. Rebecca McHenry, Elric Kane, Ryan Turek, and Rob Galuzzo, which basically all the podcasts I listen to, and then some. So now this has even trickled down to something even more, which is the four hosts from Shockwaves had their kind of little world shaken up when women started coming forward against harassment allegations that have occurred in the past from Rob Galuzzo. So this has just been one kind of wave after another. The thing is a lot of followers have turned their backs. Some have blamed it to the cancellation culture, the backlash and everything. And you have the Me Too movement where all women need to be heard. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people also on Twitter and everything have been blaming right wing, and it doesn't matter what your politics are. I think women have been dealing with this from the beginning of time. and it doesn't matter who you vote for, what you believe in, what power you're in. It has just been an ongoing battle for women. Whether if it's their job is at stake, and there is, because if you speak up, we all know, you don't want to be shunned. Or in the horror community, it's a very close knit family, and people are friends with one another, socially and on a personal level. And so you don't want to speak up because this person's friends with that person, or, and you try to encourage people and such. But I don't know. It pains me because sure, people want to turn their backs on Fangoria, but just because Cinestate signs the check. But think of all the people who work so hard on Fangoria and the magazine, and and they have nothing to do with it. They knew nothing about this, and
they're not in the movies.
Yeah.
They're just writing articles and sticking to their magazine, which is very understandable, because it's like, well, why you're turning your back on them because Cinestate owns them, but Cinestate's just paying them. If they're just writing a check, they're not making movies at Fangoria. Which they are. They are making movies. They
are. That's what the the VFW and Satanic Panic came out.
But I think Cinestate attached that name to it to garner attention, just like Netflix did with Unsolved Mysteries. It's only just say, hey, we own this, so let's put this name on it.
But the problem is too is we're at a time where it's really hot to.
Oh yeah.
You can jump forward. You can say something. You don't know if it's true or not, but we're in such a state of mind where we have to listen. We have to listen, and we have to back that person up, or else. Now, I'm not saying back up Cinestate or any of that crap, but it is hard for me to turn my back on Fangoria, and the magazine itself. That's been here. And so I understand the position. I understand that the podcast, all of them had to leave, because if they stayed, either way, they're going to get backlash. Everybody's got their opinion. Hopefully though, that Fangoria will find somebody very quickly to kind of keep this all together and keep it going. I think people are, they love the name, they love the brand, and I think and hope they'll be okay. So just have to see with that.
We talked to when Fangoria first come back. We talked to who, I forget the woman's name. Her and do what?
I'll tell you. It started with an N. I'll tell you though. Hold on.
And a guy that they had that lived in Nashville that was helping promote for them. So I got a subscription for it. I didn't get no more bigger discount than anybody else did. They had a promo code when we went to, because
Rachel, a woman. I think her name was Rachel Wilson.
Yeah, and
Rachel at Cinestate.com.
Full Moon Cineplex showed the Puppet Master. And guy was there, or it might have been a different movie, but he had a promo code. I could save like 20%. I think anybody could have saved 20% though. And I got the first year. I couldn't afford the second year because work, slacking. But they cut back so bad with the car industry.
It's Bubo, Bela Bubo Lugosi. Sorry, he climbed up on my lap. My black cat.
He's really hard to see.
He is. He's so dark.
Why won't you do that for me, Tucker?
He's purring real loud. Sorry.
Tucker's over there laying on the floor just looking at me. He wants a laser pointer.
So, Angela, have you heard of anybody seeking to buy Fangoria?
Not as of yet, because they, like I said, they just announced it the other day. They went on Twitter with it. There's so much there. There's so much on Twitter. I've spent the whole entire week just going through tweets and reading accusations and people's comments, which is something I normally don't do, but it's just, it's crazy. Of course, everybody has a lot of suggestions, people want like Blumhouse, and stuff. I think they even mentioned Alamo, so people, making their suggestions. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Why this is still happening.
What's that? I'm sorry?
I don't understand why people are allowing this to still happen. If you know a guy is a predator, scream, you know what I'm saying? Let everyone know and put it out. Even if you do it anonymously on the internet, it will catch fire.
The thing is people were putting it out on movie sets and stuff. So they were going to each other. And I mean, there's video or there's audio of stuff that he said and done. It's just like any profession. It's, you talk amongst yourselves that, hey, just look out for this, just stay away. But that's always like the people in power who have the authority to do something. Either they don't want to hear it. Chances are, and I'm sorry to say, I'm overgeneralizing, but bear with me from personal experience. It's, I don't want to hear about it if it's a man, in power. They brush it under the rug. Yeah, they don't want to deal with it.
They don't want the headache. But
yeah,
if you just say, "Hey, dude, you're fucking fired,"
just ignore it. Just ignore it. Stay away from that person. Then instead of doing something about it. And
that's fucking great. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can replace a person. Everyone's replaceable.
But the problem is, it's not just him on sets. I mean, it's so
that's what I mean.
Doing this.
It's just like, but that's the culture of movies, the film industry, because it's been happening since the film industry started.
Oh, yeah.
A long ass time ago, you got beautiful women that these fucking guys that could never get them growing up, because they didn't have any fucking personality or whatever. They got that. You know what I'm saying? So they fucking abuse their power because, well, I got power now. I can do this. You got to do this. It's like,
that's just it. I mean, it's like the good old boys club mentality, but then also at the same time, nobody's that important that they can't be replaced. And that is the mentality that needs to spread more.
Exactly. It just pisses me off. It's like, dude, you're making films. She don't need to fuck with you to make your fucking film.
Well, it's not even just the actresses. I mean, it's set design, it's makeup people. It's so many people on the set, and you get these lower levels, so to speak. I use that term because, as opposed to like the main actress or something. And
entry level. Say entry.
Thank you.
Entry level.
Entry level people who, this is a big deal. They need this to start building up so they can get other movies and stuff. And they don't want to be a problem, and that's bullshit for them.
It is. I mean, and but like the culture, that was the whole issue because this guy seen that other people were doing it because he learned it from other people. He's seen, hey, I can take advantage of these situations because I see this guy doing it, I see this guy doing it, and I see all these other people fucking doing it. Because like with the Harvey Weinstein thing, that was already known. Like I knew this shit when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like. That was just one of the things that was like low key, like, well, this person's sleeping to get to the top.
I also think that there is just a type mentality that says, I'm entitled to do this to you.
Yeah.
That's it, period. I think it's everywhere. And it does need to stop.
It's in the music industry. It's in the film industry,
every
everywhere.
Industry. It's out when you walk on the street as a female. It's everywhere. I don't even have to be at a job. Most women don't. It's not even about the way you look, or the way you dress or anything. It's just whatever mentality that individual person has that they feel they have a right.
And that's why I don't say anything to women. Like. I just don't say anything. Like, I see a pretty woman and I'm just like, wow, she's really pretty, but I don't tell her.
Yeah.
You
But
know
there's
what I'm saying?
also a
Like,
way to do it where you're not creepy, you know, or you're not touching. Don't touch me. Don't invade my space. You know, a lot of people think they can just come up to you and touch you, and you're like, who the fuck are you? Yeah.
Fuck that. Like, I have a hard time. Like, your hair looks really good today. Like, I wouldn't even tell someone that. But I went through a lot of training working in retail. Yeah. I went through a lot of training in retail, so it's kind of like.
Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate the compliment.
Your hair looks like shit, Jimmy. Especially that fucking whatever chin fucking hair.
It is disturbing that you know that this is happening, but it's also even more disturbing that it takes these outcries for it to even garnish some attention. But you know, I also think it depends on the person. I mean, you know, you have somebody who's beloved, like we'll use Chris Hardwick as an example, and then his former girlfriend goes on this long rant about how she was abused by somebody who's really well known, and then like gives every descriptor about him, you know, and he quietly goes away. Now, I'm not saying it's true or anything. I'm just saying that, you know, he quietly goes away, and it all, you know, smoothed itself over. Maybe it was BS. You know, maybe there was a time when he was starting out and recovering, you know, after, because, you know, he's been sober for X amount of years. Maybe at some point he was still in his early stages of sobriety and he wasn't the same person that he is today. You know what I mean? I mean, people do grow and change. I don't know. I'm not in their relationship, just like I'm not in anybody else's relationship or on the set. So
you bring him up, and then like Aziz and Siri, I don't know if y'all know who he is, but he's on Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Well, he had the one, gosh dang, the Netflix show. That was one season, and it was so good. It was so.
I watched it too,
and I loved it. And then the girl comes out and said that he abused her, or you know, like took advantage of her, or whatever, kind of raped her is what she kind of put it, like forced her to do sexual acts on him. Mm-hmm. But it's like he didn't. You know, come to find out, he really didn't. You know, they were on a date, and he asked, you know, well, would you want to? And, you know, it was kind of a little bit too insistent, or whatever it was, but he never really did. But yet they canceled his fucking show, you know, and he caught a bunch of backlash for it because she wants to come out there and say it. And it's just like, man, it's such a touchy subject. You got all these people out there that are actually doing it, and they deserve to be called out, but you have to be cautious on who you're calling out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, and I can't stand it. It just fucking sorry-ass motherfuckers taking advantage of their position. That's all it is.
I think what also is really difficult for us is just the horror community in general, because we're supposed to, in theory, we're kind of like the excluded group